Materials passports store key information on construction materials and products. They act as identity cards, holding information in a digital format on the characteristics of materials and products to support the recovery and reuse of materials from built assets over their life cycle. By having data in a digital format, on a database or platform, the Materials Passport supports digitalized data management by holding key information in one place and can be updated over the life cycle of a material or product to act as a single source of data. Ultimately, Materials Passports help practitioners identify the opportunities for material recovery and reuse, enabling better decision-making and informing strategies to reduce waste and other environmental impacts. Why are materials passports important? 61% of waste comes from demolition, construction, and excavation, much of which could be recovered and reused. By storing key information on materials and products over their life cycle, materials passports can enable due diligence of the material's history and offer options on what to do next, reducing waste and maximizing the life of a material or product. The information gathered can support reporting requirements such as the golden thread of information. There are a wide range of reasons to consider using materials passports on projects. These include: firstly, by providing key product and sustainability information. Material passports hold key material or product information and can contain specific information such as carbon and environmental impact data from environmental product declarations. They could also include health and well-being information from material composition, for example, data on volatile organic compounds, which is often needed for sustainability certifications such as BREEAM, WELL, and SCAR ratings, as well as for life cycle assessments. Secondly, by providing circularity information. This provides information on the methods of assembly, disassembly, repair and maintenance, as well as supporting appropriate end-of-life options such as reuse or recycling for the material or product, and this helps ensure the material stays at the highest value for as long as possible, reducing the need for virgin materials. Third, it facilitates long-term material recovery. This includes information related to the manufacture, testing, and warranty. Certifications can help with due diligence processes to ensure reused materials by having all the information in one place, providing confidence for reuse. Fourth, it feeds into materials reuse hubs and platforms. By providing the product and life cycle information, materials passports can help to increase the flow of reused materials and provide data across asset portfolios. The information can also feed into reuse hubs or marketplaces where materials can be sold once reclaimed from a built asset. This could be used to provide insight into regional stock information, enabling the supply chain to anticipate future stock flows. And fifth, there are regulatory drivers for materials passports. The EU's Eco-Design for Sustainable Products Regulation 2024 includes a requirement for a digital product passport to be available for select materials including steel, aluminium, and furniture. Similar to a materials passport, a digital product passport is a tool aimed to enhance transparency about a product's environmental impact and circularity. Although this is an EU regulation, products sold on the EU markets will need digital product passports, impacting the UK and other markets as well. Here are some key considerations about material passports. Different passport levels. There are a variety of passport levels, and the relevant stakeholders need to clarify which types of passport is required. As defined by Buildings as Materials Banks 2020, the hierarchy levels are material, component, product, system, and building. Not all materials are going to have a passport for every level listed, and therefore the information needed for each material and product may differ. Ideally, materials passports can be aggregated upwards to feed into building-level passports. Data requirements. Although there will be similarities in the basic data needed for different materials and products, each will have specific data that must be included based on where it is located within the building, its expected lifespan, and the technical requirements of that product. Examples of data that could be collected include physical and technical information, manufacturer information, health and safety information, warranty information, data sheets, product location, images, material composition, deconstructability, information on previous uses, expected lifespan, end-of-life scenario, current condition, environmental information, toxicity, sustainability certifications, testing information, maintenance instructions, maintenance log, cleaning instructions. Future use. It is important to plan for the future use and accessibility of passports. When creating them, it is essential to consider the data to collect, its intended purpose, who will update it and who will need to access it. This requires collaboration with stakeholders across the building life cycle to understand how passports will sit within other documentation, for example, operations and maintenance manuals. Data management. Due to the digital nature of materials passports, data management and ownership must be a key consideration. To ensure their relevance for future use, these passports should remain dynamic and be continuously updated. Balancing data security with appropriate stakeholder access is essential for safeguarding sensitive information while enabling collaboration. It is also worth investigating how the passport may link in with other digital tools, such as BIM, LCA calculators, digital twins, and digital reuse hubs. Key stakeholders to engage with. The stakeholders are likely to have different roles and responsibilities in the project planning process and over the materials passport's lifetime. Developers and asset owners are likely to have control of the passports over their lifespan. They should develop a brief which includes their project-specific objectives and is incorporated as part of a circular economy strategy. Working with the other stakeholders, they should also decide how the passport information is stored, how the data is collected, and who has the responsibility to manage and update it over its lifespan. They should incorporate materials passports into wider portfolio management so the material stocks can be viewed. The design or project team is likely to be responsible for initiating the process of collecting materials passports. They may use existing passports to inform design decisions based on the data available or set out the specification requirement and the data that needs to be collected in alignment with the developer's passport strategy. Contractors will aid in data collection through their supply chain from subcontractors, material stockists and manufacturers, and overseeing the installation of materials and products and ensuring the passports are updated at completion with as-built information. Subcontractors will be responsible for gathering documentation and recording information relating to their packages. Manufacturers or material suppliers will provide information on their products for the materials passport or a digital product passport if they have one. They should be supported in the data collection for the passports and keeping the data available for materials passports updates. And facilities managers can use the information within the passports to understand how materials and systems need to be cared for during the in-use phase. They should update the passports throughout the in-use stage of the asset with details of maintenance and repair so they remain accurate. Existing buildings may need to adopt a different approach for producing materials passports for the materials already in the building. A pre-demolition, redevelopment, or strip-out audit can identify materials in the existing building. This can be used to gather basic materials passport information and provide guidance on which materials can be reused. There may also be the need to share materials passports with reuse hubs or platforms. In summary, materials passports can provide data to support circularity, reduce carbon emissions, and reduce waste. They can also help ensure the true value and lifespan of materials are realized and aid in deconstruction over demolition. Materials passports can support enhanced data transparency, improved supply chain management, regulatory compliance, and standardization by acting as a central life cycle document for the materials or products within an asset.